Black Americans, the reason why every time you log into TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and you see an African swearing to God that everything from America comes from Africa, is because our culture is and has been sold to the highest African bidder. This is why Africa goes on these shows and these podcasts and they say stuff like, well, this food comes from Africa, or this culture or language comes from Africa. It's because they are actively, like I told y'all yesterday, they are actively stealing it. But now it's already said that they bought it. This is why, think about it. Africans are in charge of Essence Festival. Africans are in charge of BET. Africans are in charge of most black cities. Africans are in charge of everything culture-wise that we created. They buying up everything that we created for us. They got the Africans running the Black Bank, the first Black Bank in Houston in 4th Ward. The Nigerians are running that. It's a destiny swap in real time.
You want to get time to put those on?
Yeah, I can put it on while I'm answering.
Okay, I know I asked you this question before, but I want to ask it again, being as it's been maybe a couple of years now.
A couple of years?
All year. I want to know why you chose the Hebrew Israelites instead of like African consciousness in your life, because I know you've been a part of everything at one time in your life. Growing up, you see the red, black, and green. You see the Black Power militant group. There you go. So why make that change like that when you know that the first nation was in Africa, brother? Like in ancient Kemet, when you know that we got great civilization in ancient Kemet and all that. That's what I want to ask you.
Let me tell you something, man. Y'all black people got to stop this whole the first stuff, man. The first don't mean nothing when right now we last. So we first civilization. I'm gonna make y'all right just for the sake of argument. I'm not gonna argue who was the first, where it came from, or nothing like that. So we the first civilization, first scientists, first astrologers, first doctors, first everything. But don't mean nothing now, because we last now. So we got to go back to what will bring us to the top. Now it's good. Now again, I'm going with the premise that y'all right. So it's good to bring that information in there, but we got to bring something else to get these cats that you see on these corners. Only Israelites could get them off that corner. Straight like that. Straight like that. You know how I know? When I travel, I just came from Chicago. We had a Midwest cookout. I'm seeing brothers come, we all converging. So brothers from California, from Florida, from North Carolina, from Minnesota, from Indianapolis, from Detroit. All these cats that straight gutter niggas. I'm saying it on purpose. Straight from the gutter, straight hustlers, thieves, bodies, shot, whatever it is that you could think of, these brothers done it. And then they heard us say, they didn't hear us say, yo, you know, we was the first this, we was the first that, we was the first this. What they heard us say, brother, if you care about your brother, you'll stop doing what you're doing. Like if you be about brotherhood, like it's evil, like we address the direct issue that's plaguing black people. So a lot of people, when I did that sit down with Jabari, he brought up the whole first thing. I said then and I said now, I ain't concerned with first. You know what I mean? That ain't really my battle. Now, if you're going to tell me something about Kemet that's going to get these cats off the corners, by all means, give it to me. But since I've been in the conscious community since 2013, when polite little ass walked in front of the camp, we wasn't on the side of Lenox that we on now. We was on the other, remember we was on the other side where they got their Whole Foods at. From that moment up until now, I ain't never seen a Kemet on the street dealing with these drug dealers. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying I ain't seen it. I ain't never seen a Kemet. I ain't never seen an RBG. I ain't never seen none of them on the front lines and not delivering. And I ain't saying that Kemet brothers that follow this religion, I ain't saying that they don't have no love for black people. I want to be clear. But I ain't seen them use Kemetic religion, Kemetic science to free them from the oppression that they suffering on that corner. But I have seen Israelites. So your question was, what made me join the Israelites? Because I seen the Israelites on the street directly addressing what is plaguing black people. And I love black people. I will die, I will give my life for black. If I had to die, if me dying meant black people could get free, I'd rather die so that my people could get free. I would rather that. And I needed to be in the organization that, number one, was about truth, number one was about the Most High, and number one could fix black people. Yeah, I see him. Yeah, I just got to make sure he ain't a Hamite. Y'all know y'all.
Crazy, man.
Now, I only say that because you made, Polite had the whole summer jam joint the last time.
Man, you got to be civilized, brother. You telling me that you will not feed an African child? She will not. If she's hungry, you too. She's hungry, and she come to you. Excuse me, sir. Can I have a hamburger? You telling me you'll tell that little child to get the hell out of here? That you don't. Now be careful, cause this right here could really blow you up. A young 5-year-old baby, hungry. You see the ribs, man. African. You telling me that you will turn that baby down from feeding that baby?
Okay, now before I answer your question, I'm just gonna ask you one thing. Do you love black people?
Yes, I do.
You love the history of black people?
Yes, I do.
You remember the history of black people, right?
Somewhat.
Here's what I remember about the history of black people. What I remember about the history of black people is that nobody cared about our babies when they was throwing them on them ships for slavery. Nobody fed them when we was under the bottom of the barrel of the ship. Nobody fed them. Nobody cared about the black woman when she was on her menstrual cycle. They didn't bring her nothing to cover up the blood from dripping. That blood had to drip. Nobody cared about the brother if he had to take a shit. He had to defecate right next to his other brother. And then you imagine that stench of that. It would come up, and then all manner of diseases from that shit would come up out of there or whatever. So now, how do we honor them? How you honor them by finding out who fucked them up. Excuse my language. You find out who tore their ass up, who put them in that condition. And when we find out the nations that put them in that condition, we have no dealings with those nations like that. Christ said something real heavy. Christ said, let the children first be fed, when that white woman wanted to get a blessing. And she said, yes, Lord, but even the dogs eat from the crumbs. He directed. You messing up my vibe, Si. Yeah, he probably doing that on purpose because I'm dropping it heavy on him. Don't take that part out either. Leave that in there, Si.
No,
so, Christ said, let the children first be fed, right? The white woman said, yes, Lord, recognized her position as a dog. She said, but the dogs eat from the crumbs. These Africans and white folk, Japanese, they look at themselves as the children. And they look at us as the dogs, even though they've trampled us underfoot. So if I give my love to anybody else other than my people, I'm selling my ancestors short. So I cannot feed an African. I don't care how old he is. He could be 2, he could be 80. He won't get shit from me. Because nobody gave my ancestors shit when they was bringing us on them slave ships. And then when they brought us over here and they said we couldn't read or write, where was the African nation that first sold us that said we gonna redeem y'all and bring y'all back? Nobody. For 400 years, nobody gave a shit about us. To 2017, nobody gives a shit about us. Philando Castile, Capt got off. The brother in Milwaukee, Capt got off. And I got to feed some African from another nation when his ancestors sold my ancestors. Nobody asked a Jewish man to feed the German. Nobody. Because everybody understands the Holocaust was fucked up. So if a Jewish don't want to feed a German, they understand that. But if I don't want to feed this African, or if I don't want to feed an Arab, or if I don't want to feed a white man, I got to feed him. That's how much Stockholm syndrome black people got. And that, one second, and that's the oppression black people suffer every day, where we're forced to love our enemies, even though they still fuck us up every day. What Africans show us love? You do that for me, and you got me. And I don't mean black people that think they African. Like Polite, he think he African, Shaka, them niggas ain't African. They niggas grew up in Harlem and Brooklyn. Show me the Africans that fight for us, and then you could tell me about an African that can't eat with me. Make sure you leave all that.
First of all, let me say this, brother. It was not the Africans who told you they can't feed you, brother. You're really talking about the white man. It was the white man who put you on them slave ships. It was the white man who told you, no, you can't go to the bathroom. You got to use your number 1 and your number 2 right here. Not all Africans, brother. It was not all Africans was enslaving Africans.
A simple question.
I'm answering you.
How did we get in that position?
Because we have traders amongst us. No, let me ask you. You said ask me the question.
No. I said, how did we get in that ship?
We got in the ship because just like today, you have black people who are traders, you see, who went against the grain, who sold us out, just like you got Negroes who killed Malcolm. It was niggas who killed Malcolm, not black men. So we always had traders amongst us. Where was we at in Africa for us not to be African? So think about this, Captain. History. If we in South Africa, or if we in West Africa, and Africans come and get us, we had to be Africans for Africans. We just was another nation. That's all. It was nations fighting nations all the time. And that goes on all the time. So you cannot condemn the whole continent of Africa, brother. That's the point that I'm trying to make. We have traders amongst our nation. Look at Pharaoh and Seti. Yo, look at Pharaoh and Seti, bro. You ain't got to touch that. But I'm just saying. Look at Pharaoh and Seti. Look at the niggas who killed Malcolm. Bruh, look at the niggas who said, we're gonna try our best. The ones that shot Marcus Garvey. Look at the niggas who shot Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey had to leave Jamaica to come over here to us. So look at that, bro. I could go on and on showing you these traitors of our people. Go ahead.
Say something. When they shot Malcolm, right, you had black people that came to the defense to try to save and help Malcolm, right?
Right.
So it wasn't all black people that wanted to shoot. It was just some, right? So now you're trying to give me that same premise for Africa. What African nation said this was wrong and stopped us from being sold into slavery? No African nation. That's my point. Like, it's 40 countries, maybe 50 countries in Africa. You telling me not to blame any of them. Give me the one country that sent the boat to free us. We need to learn honor. Like that white man, that nigga had Memorial Day every year. And he honors them fallen people from World War II, World War III. Where I spoke about the Holocaust, and they have a permanent disdain for the nations that destroyed their people. We don't. Even if you want to call us African, we Israelites. But let's go with your notion that we African. You said the Africans always went to war with each other, right? Yeah, the war ain't over then. The war wouldn't be over then because they never... No. I ain't talking about them fighting each other. I'm talking about us over here. When Africans come over here, they look at us like we ain't shit. That's true. Straight like that. So now, you want me to love somebody that when they come over here, they still hating. They still looking to look at that lazy nigga. Kata. That's what they call him. Look at that Kata. Look at that Kata. That's what they say to us all day. And now I got to be concerned about him, where there ain't nobody caring about these brothers on the corner. Who gonna talk to them to get them off the corner? Africans don't. Israelites do. Who gonna talk to that woman that been molested? Africans don't. Israelites do. Who gonna talk to these brothers that's all destroyed, ain't got no daddies in the house, and who gonna put a father in the house? Africans don't. Israelites do. How do I know? Because we do it every day. All day. So I can't give my love. I can't give my love to anybody but my people. That's it.
Okay. So where were you in Africa for the Africans that come in? No, I'm just asking you a question. Where was you? Hold on, because you know I'm about to bust your ass on this one. Where were you? And you too, my brother. Where were you in Africa before the white man got there in order for you not to be an African? Because I know you wasn't here in America by your damn self. You wasn't in China. So if you're not an African, what the hell you doing in Africa? What was you doing in Africa for the white man to get you and put you on the slave ship?
You're really helping my argument. You're not helping the argument.
Go ahead.
This is a very easy. Now, I brought this out when Reggie asked me this question. In 70 AD, when Jerusalem fell, when the Romans destroyed the nation of Israel at that time, over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. They fled into other parts too, but over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. This is a historical fact. So when we went into Africa, we knew exactly. Wait, let me finish.
I gotta correct that. Look, you said you flew in from where? You came
when I'm saying flew, not flew in the air. We traveled
from where?
From Israel. We traveled from this a historical. You know, I'm gonna cut you on that too. What did they used to call black people back in the day? You from Harlem, you should know. Did they not call us Asiatics?
Yes.
Why do they call us Asiatics? Because they used to call Africa Asia Major. They used to be Asia Minor, Asia Major.
Right.
Depending on who controls the map is what that land is going to be called. Africa is a young name. Maybe a couple thousand, maybe like 1, 2, right. It used to be called Asia. So don't give me the whole Israel is in Africa mumbo jumbo. Chinese people and white people have been in Africa for thousands of years too. When the Ptolemies came into Africa, they took it over too. So are they African? Hell no. The continent that you live on don't make you that people. Chinese people in America are still Chinese. They've been over here thousands of years too. So now when you go into an old mapping system, you can find African maps, I'm saying that word on purpose, that will say land of Judah. You have tribes that we will go into. A lot of people don't like to talk about that part, but like the Ashanti tribes or the Igbo tribes. Now, I'm not saying we were the Igbos or Ashantis, but we were among... One second, let me finish. Let me finish.
You come from the Ashanti people, brother.
Sorry. But what I'm trying to say is, we was among them. And when you go through history, the reason why they sold us is because we was more intelligent than them. It was warfare. Like how you said it was warfare. So because of that warfare, they sold us. So I will never love an African because I love my people too much. People, when them towers fell, whether Osama did it or not, America did not care that they wasn't killing Osama over there in Iraq or Afghanistan. They was killing men, women, and children. You know why they didn't care? Because American people fell. So because American people fell, they didn't care who died. Well, my people died. 99 million black people died, and they worried about whether I would feed an African or deal with an African. When the Africans come over here, they show nothing but a hatred for us. I question those black people's honor.
The killers is here.
I question whether those black people have the honor that they should have.
Me so bad.
All right?
There you go, son. Saying Kobe want to be like me so bad. Yeah. You know, he ain't been wearing the hats.
What up, guys?
Yo, I'm over here busting Captain ass by myself.
Hey, don't leave none of that.
I'm busting Captain ass by myself.
Edit none of that out. Leave it all raw.
Yeah.
You watching it? Leave the Cap alone. He done paid his dues, man. He ain't on the
So,
going in on crackers.
so listen. No, we talking about Africa right now. So listen, brother.
No, but it go back to that crack.
So you still ain't answered the question. Because the people, hold on. Where was you at?
Before?
Where was you at? And right, but see, come on, man. It wasn't even called Israel. What is you talking about? No, it wasn't, brother. You tell me.
It was called Israel, Jerusalem.
I got my historian here.
Yeah, it was called the nation of Israel. Say again?
Said that 1948 it was called Israel.
This the question.
No, 1948 it was called Israeli, not Israel.
What was it called before? Because it was called none of that.
That question I would say, but we would be on the western part. We would be primarily on the western part.
Israel.
Yeah, we would be primarily on the western part of
The
Africa.
Israelites were all over the planet. Acts 2:5. It said that they're Jews.
Did they have slaves?
Right.
But
Then who have slaves in
before
Israel?
the Suez Canal, that wasn't called no Israel.
What was it called?
It wasn't called Israel. Look it up. You can do your homework.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro.
It was always Israel.
You know what's
It
called
was
the Middle
always-
East after the Suez Canal was built? Do you know about that? They called them
No.
and them crackers named
But
it.
what I do know,
They named it Israel.
when you-
At first they was trying to find
Hey, you
a
want the
land
mic?
to make theirs.
Yeah.
The white Jew was trying to make a land to call their own. They was trying to use Dominica Republic as a place under the presidential administration of Raphael Trujillo. They was trying to use that, and that's when the Parsley massacres took place. Well, who you call the Levites, where they was murdering them off, so-called ethnic cleansing, because they wanted to make it suitable for the white Jew, because that was about to be called Israel. So if let me finish.
I'm just asking what time frame.
That was in the 1930s.
Okay.
What year? I'm not sure,
know the exact
but in the
time.
30s, it's in the neighborhood of that time frame. You know what I'm saying?
I don't need the exact
Okay,
time, man.
and this is love. This ain't a tit for tat. We in my brother's building. As long as he going on a white man and he's waking up our people here and he's cleaning up people and he's getting them off drugs and he's getting people. So we don't want the viewership out of it to get it twisted, acting like we're having a redundant conversation. This is brotherly love and still shopping and still. However, if that was called Israel then, and the Jew manifested his fake destiny then in Dominican Republic, would y'all be trying to say that was Israel? Because they was trying to look for Uganda and try to say that was Israel. They was all over the place trying to find a land, but then they settled there. And now we're saying that's Israel when that was Northwest Africa before the Suez Canal. So we want to know if it was called Israel in the Bible, what verification of where it was called Israel up until the time or before the time where they named it under the Jewish paradigm of Zionism now? That's the question I think he's trying to articulate, but he didn't do it right because his hat's on too tight.
Nah, come back over here, Cobra. Don't go nowhere. He spoke over. Yeah, he ain't had to go nowhere.
No, I was just walking.
The history that he gave, which I don't disagree with, as far as them wanting to put Israel, put that Jewish bastard everywhere, I don't disagree with. But he talking about the 1900s.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
1900s, 1930s.
No, about 1930. That's why I said roundabout. I ain't trying to get exact with it. And my point for bringing that up is, when they put the white man in that place that they called Israeli, because that's what it's called.
They were called Israelis. That was called Israel.
No. I'm talking about the Jewish man. He don't call himself
Israeli.
Right. No, he called himself an Israeli though. What did the Iranian ruler at the time say about that? He said when the Jews left, they were black, but when they came back, they're now white. Now, why would he say that if we wasn't already living it? That's the proof. I don't have to go.
Did he live in location? He just said Jew.
One second.
Okay.
Jew is short for Judah. That's a tribe of Israel. So if he's saying they left black, came back white, that means we left Israel.
Did he say Israel or say left?
Where would they be leaving from? You see, now he want to deal with he ain't want to deal with semantics at first, but now he want to deal with semantics.
Let me tell you why. And you have a legitimate question, brother, and it's not because I wasn't even. We were just driving. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like. So okay. So you're right. It's not a debate. We're still shopping and stealing, in my opinion. Because as long as you're going to the white man, you my brother, and I don't give a damn about the topic about none of this, really, though. We got real bigger fish to fry. But since we're on the topic matter, when you said that they left black and came back white, we know that all people, tribes, customs, and people of antiquity were people of non-European descendancy. So of course they would say any of those things that you're claiming that is before the Renaissance, before when European came out of its darkness, is not you. But we want to know this because you don't want to assign a motive. If a person said they left and then came back black, but we know the Israelites, according to the Bible, have a history and many captivities in different places. Babylon, Assyria, they went into captivity and exile in other places. So when he said they left where? Because they didn't, you know what I'm saying? They didn't say that. You assigned that. Okay.
When he's saying they left the region that they was talking about, which was the Middle Eastern region. Okay. It's very simple.
Say specific, though.
The reason why they was looking for other places, Haiti and stuff. I'm not even going to debate. I'm going to make you right. I'm not going to lie. So you looking for everything. No, yeah, right. But the reason why they was doing that is because he's an imposter in the first place. The land didn't belong to him. So if he would have made Haiti Israel, we wouldn't have said there was no God. That would be further proof the white man is the devil. If he would have went to Uganda, we would have said the same thing, because the ancient biblical mappings of Judah, Gad, Levi, well, Levi didn't have no land, they lived everywhere, Simeon, etc., was all in that Middle Eastern region. That Palestine, Afghanistan, all of that would be parts of Israel. So when the Iranian ruler said they left black and came back white, meaning they left this Middle Eastern,
wherever they left,
not wherever they left. He was talking about that specific location of the Middle East, right? He's talking about that specific region.
You probably said that, but okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So what the history that you're bringing out is correct, but the white man is not a Jew.
He's not.
So everything that he was trying to do is demonic, which is why we say the white man is the devil.
And let me say something to add to what you're saying. Now, I come from the school of the Hebrew Israelites. One of the reasons why I debate passionately and have a certain kind of energy about me is certain things that I've adopted in my travels in the different schools of thought. So there's certain things that I'm still grateful for, and there's certain energies that I still have that, you know what I'm saying? So when I articulate myself, you see that passion come out. It's similar to the brothers, because there's a certain kind of similar training in that. So I have no disagreement. Now, if you want to call yourself and claim that you're Israelites, whether I'm from that school, agree with that school rather or not, I don't care, because the white man don't own nothing, and all of those things of antiquity is us. If you want to claim that and put your divinity on it, and you're breaking the knowledge down, and you're waking people up with it, and y'all doing a good job at cleaning up people, I don't have no argument with that. Because you know why? You know why? At the end, all things will be made manifest, and the truth will prevail anyway. But right now, it's about what you're doing. Long as y'all take the stance that y'all going on this cracker, exposing him for who he is, and the white man is not the real Jew. We might say there's no such, these prophets never existed. Even if we argue about that amongst ourselves, the white man ain't even in that at all. He's not even on the table with that debate. You got to take him off because he's none of these people, Kemet or Israel. So that's one thing I will agree with my brother with, and I don't have no contention with that. But Sarnetta did throw me into the Shark Tank, Israelite Shark Tank, but I know how to swim. I know how to swim in the Shark Tank, though. All right? Piece of black. Nah, it's all love. No, it's all love. It's all love.
I'm out here.
I'm Jack Cousteau, man.
Yeah, no sweat. Ain't no blood in the water, man. But like what he was saying earlier, as far as what we doing, like I was saying to Sarnetta earlier, like he had asked me why I didn't fall into the African culture, why the Israelite culture, and I said because I don't see the African culture addressing them over there. I just don't. And they're not gonna. What they're more so about is the facade or image. So they'll rock a ankh. Some might put a lock in their hair. Some might put a pharaoh hat on their head. Some might shave all the face off their hair looking like a woman. They might do all those things to be commission. But like Jabari said, he ain't even commission. So he's religious. He's as religious as he says the Christians are religious. Because Christians ain't white people. White Jesus is not a savior for black people. So the same way he gets on the Christians, he's a Christian. Because he's following a philosophy that he admits is not his. That's the problem with Kemet niggas. Ain't no nigga walk around here Kemet. But y'all following a religion, but y'all get mad at the cat that go into the Christian church. What make you different? As black people, we supposed to find who we are. And like he said earlier, whether he agrees with what I follow, at least I follow something that I can identify and I could pinpoint points. Whether he wants, like he said, let's say if the prophets did exist or didn't exist, and we ain't debating, I'm just using it as a point. I can pinpoint certain things in them Bibles to even give an argument that we're the people of that Bible. There's nothing that you can give me in Kemetic records to make yourself commission. There's nothing. There's if there was as skilled as Jabari claims to be, he would say he was commission. I'm gonna give it to you. I've asked Shaka, I've asked Polite, I've asked Jabari. No, I ain't asked Jabari, but I will ask Jabari. I've asked tons of Kemetic brothers to show me the solution in that ancient Kemet shit that's gonna fix black people. I ain't seen it yet.